Welcome to Journey with Josh. I'm Josh Ubaldi, and we're taking you on a journey of a lifetime into marketing and advertising. Together, we'll solve every mystery about marketing you've ever come across so you can get all the leads and sales you want, and best of all, how to grow a business you truly love. Welcome back to Marketing Therapist, the segment of Journey with Josh where I, Josh Ubaldi, get to answer your questions all about Facebook or Instagram advertising, online marketing, or maybe even launches. So today, I want to dive right in because we have really great, challenging questions. I really always appreciate questions that kind of challenge the way this is approached, or even the things that I'm kind of putting out there and things that I'm saying about advertising or marketing online, because there are so many different perspectives. I'm giving you my perspective, and I'm giving you what I see work in a proven way with lots of people over lots of different industries and audiences. We as humans are all so much more alike than we are different. That's why these type of tribal, group-oriented differences are often so manufactured. And we're going to maybe look at a little of that today in the course of this. So let me dive in, and we are answering 3 questions. As a reminder, as you may be starting to listen to this, right? I want to answer your questions too. So I'll talk about it at the end, but if you have questions, I want to answer them live here on the pod. So send me your questions and see if any of these things that we're talking about today actually stimulate any thoughts for you, or maybe they stimulate some questions that you have. I would love to actually answer them for you and for everyone's benefit here on the pod. I always want to have as many win-win-win situations as possible. Okay, so the first question is from Chrissy. And Chrissy, thank you for your question. Chrissy asks, if Facebook ads really can work for 99% of people, who are these 1% they can't work for? And why do so many people say they don't work for them? So Chrissy, great questions. And this is to me, a very clear 2-parter. So I want to deal with each of these questions very individually so we can pull them apart. So let me take the first one again. If Facebook ads really can work for 99% of people, who are the 1% they can't work for? Let me tell you, there is a black and white, very objective answer to this, and there is a separate subjective answer to this based in my experience. So let's start with the black and white one. Facebook ads cannot work for people who are actually in the business space of things that are restricted from advertising. So this is a really great time to hammer the drum to some degree for any tool that you're using. Right now, I'm talking with you about Facebook and Facebook advertising, but any tool you are using is its own business, and you have to play by the rules of that tool. If you want to do something totally on your own and start your own tool, awesome. I'm never going to say why do that. I'm going to say awesome, but that's a very steep mountain to climb. That's like climbing Everest when you're like, oh, I just started hiking. I'm not very good and I have no stamina, right? I want you to make the most of the tools available, and then you can decide over time if you're like, I want to break all the rules and do my own thing. Perfect. But at least let's find out what the rules are in the first place. So Facebook, specifically for Facebook and Instagram ads, has very black and white, clear community rules for advertising. Community standards are the standards for all the organic stuff. Your Facebook profile, your Instagram profile, your feeds, your news feeds, right? Or all the other areas that you're on. Advertising has a different group of rules. Many of them overlap and are really the same. Facebook wants everybody to have this great experience, but the rules are the rules, and you can't break the rules. And if you break the rules fast, Facebook puts the kibosh on and it shuts your account down. At the very least, it may reject your ads, and you don't even want that. We don't play with compliance in my business. I want everyone's ads to do really well and have a huge amount of flexibility. I don't want you to push the boundaries and have an account shut down that you potentially can never get back, and all the data you've invested in already. So we got the black and white thing. You can't advertise some things on Facebook. What are those things? Kind of obviously, but maybe not super obvious. You can't advertise weapons. You can't advertise sex. You can't advertise drugs. So let's kind of grossly say things that are generally in most modern societies, things that are criminal and that are not universal to everybody, those things you literally cannot run ads for. And so obviously we don't run ads for people who do those things in the restricted category. We don't even teach people how to do the clever workaround, wink wink, for your restricted category. There is always the restrictions. However, there's also a shorter category of things where you have to just follow the rules. And over time, this isn't like there are workarounds, right? So for example, in something like the weight loss space, it's not restricted. You've certainly seen enough ads for weight loss out over time, but you do have certain guidelines to follow that don't make it become restricted. So for example, Facebook doesn't want you showing before and after pictures. If it's not something that could pertain to most people, it's a before and after thing, they're not going to want you to show your ad like that. Or you're going to have to figure out something else similar to that. But it's not restricted. It does have different constraints. So along those lines, Facebook ads really can't work. That 1% of people who are in some sort of criminal zone, or it's very much walking the line. It's not worth that complication. If you have a deep love for your type of weapon, you can find other ways than Facebook to get the word out about it. And I'm going to trust that that community is going to take care of itself, and you're going to maybe be more referral based. And there's options for you. No one's saying there isn't. Okay, so that's the black and white answer to your question, Chrissy. That's really who ads truly can't work for and never can work for. There's also my experience, which I don't want to take too long diving into, but this is just to say, as a business owner, in my experience, for myself in my own business and all the people that I've worked with, business is consistently about making decisions and finding out what's happened from those decisions and then starting to make stronger and stronger decisions. So it's kind of like you start here where you're like, I'm not sure what I'm doing. And every option is really big. And you start to get clarity and focus, and things start to bottleneck and get clear. And then things start to get very streamlined and simplified. That's good business on the whole. It's really good marketing. And all of our advertising is designed to do that as fast as possible. You should not be in that wondering, spending money randomly gambling zone, right? So if people can't make decisions, if you're a business owner who has been 5 years putting stuff together and not making offers, putting stuff together and not figuring things out, never proving your offers, but you've been doing this for 10 years. You can't get something off the ground. I'm not going to say that ads can never work for you. I'm going to say figure all that stuff out before you start putting money to it. If you are someone who makes really strong decisions and not only make strong decisions, and I've worked with many people who make fast decisions, right? For especially among private clients, it can be looked at as a very big benefit if someone could just make a fast decision and say, yes, I want to work with you, and let's get this live, and yes, let's do this. But sometimes when you make too fast decisions, you do miss the distinctions. This over that, right? I actually have a coaching background, and coaching is very much about distinctions, right? Are you not taking action because you're super angry or because you're terrified, right? Those things need a different approach to help you move through. Are you not taking action? Are you procrastinating because you truly don't know what to do, technically, or you're terrified? Those things need a different approach. So you may be procrastinating, you may not be getting things done, but the distinctions of why that's happening give you the path forward. So people who really struggle to make decisions really struggle with ads. And if you can make decisions and not move too fast, right? The thing to never forget is one of the 3 T's of great advertising and great marketing is tracking. So if you're a fast decision maker and we're gonna put this out, we're gonna put this out, and we're gonna put this out. If you're not going back to the tracking and seeing the results about what's working and then trying to understand why, you're not understanding your audience as well as you may need to, but you're also really not serving yourself, right? So I truly see and believe that 99% of people can do that. Some people, it's much more of a roller coaster. Other people, it's a bit of a curve, and then you hit that plateau and you sail. But unless you're in a zone where you are literally selling criminal products or selling something that is normally considered criminal, or unless you're in a zone where you can never make a decision, right? And I'm not talking, right? ADD, ADHD, OCD. It's not those things. There's always great workarounds that we always figure out. If you have where you're like, my approach is always a little bit like this. Great, we'll customize it. I've customized everything for how I work in my neurodivergent brain. I customize all of my clients' work because no one works the same. But then we still get results, right? So 99% of people fall into that. But if you know you are the 1% of people who has 1,000 options and you can't just choose one, you gotta choose something first. And that's the most loving thing I could possibly say. A much bigger question and a much bigger challenging question, Chrissy, is part 2 here. So, and why do so many people say they don't work for them? I will tell you. People say ads don't work for them because they did the spaghetti against the wall thing in the first place. I see people all the time being like, I'm just going to try some ads out. I got a $47 product. I'm just going to try some ads out. Just throw some spaghetti against the wall. Maybe it's going to stick. Maybe it's not. Ooh, a little too much oil on it. Didn't stick. A little too much sauce on it. Didn't stick. There's 1,000 reasons. Either way, you need some basic strategy for ads or they don't work. So I want to make that super clear. You need some basic strategy for ads all the time, or they don't really work. You will waste money. I've many times in my business's average, I definitely find that the average amount people waste on ads that have not worked is $7,000, $7K, before they come and get a decent strategy and then get results. So I want you to always shortcut and not take the 7K missing. Where did it go? Where did it go? Right? Before you start getting results. There's no need for that ultimately. Okay. So you always need a strategy. If you are just starting, right? Use the 3 T's. That's the starting point. There are 3 T's. You go to the website or www.goldenringmarketing.com/get started and you can get that, or just go to our website and you can find it there. But most people say ads don't work for them because they threw something against the wall. There wasn't a strategy, and ads don't work like that. At the end of the day, right? If something has money behind it, why would you automatically assume that if you just throw more money at it, it's just going to ultimately somehow start working ultimately, right? I know that advertising will be the single biggest investment most people make in their business. And I want to say, anybody you follow that you love, great authors, great businesses, people with multi-million-dollar launches and businesses, they all use ads. Many of them don't even use ads really, really well, but they all use ads because they are getting a return and they are getting a benefit. And some use them much more simply and strategically, and they get more of a return. But everyone's using them, so you don't ever need to get stuck in that position. Okay, great question, Chrissy. I appreciate it. If that stimulated more questions, just let me know. All right, Adam has our second question of the day. Thank you, Adam. I really appreciate your question. Adam says, I see that marketing is important, but why should we give all our money to Zuckerberg for it? Aren't there better ways to skip giving them so much profit? This is something that I come across quite a lot, Adam. So I totally get what you're talking about. I'm going to read this question one more time for anybody who's like, what are we really saying? Adam says, I see that marketing is important, but why should we give all our money to Zuckerberg for it? Aren't there better ways to skip giving them so much profit? So I have a very specific, very widespread proven experience of this, but it's very specific in my business. And because I work in marketing, I see how marketing works for people and also on people. And Let me start here. This type of question always makes me think of the Williams sisters, Serena Williams, Venus Williams, tennis players. Serena Williams and Venus Williams. Serena may be considered the best tennis player of all time. In some people's standards, the best athlete of all time, right? But ultimately, the thing about the Williams sisters, even though we're talking tennis and not business or marketing, is that earlier in their career, the first 2/3, I would say, when anybody asked them any question about anything, they always said the same thing. I'm just focusing on my own game. And what they were saying was, I'm not distracted by that player and their technique. I'm not distracted by this that's going on. I'm not distracted by that or that or that or that. I am focused solely on my own game. And those two won huge amounts of Grand Slams, became the best in their world and the field in what they do. They became experts at their craft, and they became great strategists. Amazing, skillful, smart, clever, strategic, focused. And they just focused on their own game. So I get your question, Adam. Why are people giving Facebook money for their business? To grow their business. Because they're focused on the growth they want their business to get. Facebook is a reminder. Maybe I even just said this with Chrissy. I can't remember. Facebook is a tool you're using. To grow your business, we're using all these different tools, a CRM, a payment processor, Stripe, the CRM, Infusionsoft, whatever, right? We're using all these tools. There's marketing tools. Facebook's one of your marketing tools. You don't have to use it. I'm never going to advocate you use Facebook when you could use something else. But ultimately, it's just a tool. But that tool is its own business. So is Stripe, so is Infusionsoft, or any other tool that you use. So if you get distracted and you stop focusing on the growth of your own business and you start focusing on other people benefiting from you, you've lost your focus and you've disconnected from the mission of serving who you need to serve, in my opinion. And that's my experience, not just my opinion out of the blue, right? So keep that in mind. I want you to stay very focused, Adam, on what you want with your business. What is your mission? Don't disconnect from your mission. Who are you here to serve? Use these tools like Facebook, X, Twitter, TikTok, LinkedIn. Use these tools and invest in them to get the growth you want. Do other people profit from them? Yes. Other people profit from you buying vegetables and Coca-Cola and shopping in that supermarket versus the other, and getting gas in that gas provider versus the other one. Everywhere around us is a business that is creating profit or they're going out of business. But you're probably not fixating on that. But the thing I actually started to say, I really do want to not forget, which is to say it is a marketing technique. It's a technique of marketing that works not for people, but on people, marketing that works on people, to vilify the external, right? Because if you vilify other people, and we see this in wars currently all over the world, if you vilify other people, it strengthens your community. And I, inside my business, don't do a lot of this. It's not my natural inclination. I understand the benefit of it, and I see it, right? You see certain groups of people that just operate like multi-level marketing, and you see them in all different facets of society, not just business. Multi-level marketing, they're just within the tribe, just within the group, just with it, right? Just within that small thing. So vilifying other people gets you distracted and strengthens your community for whoever's vilifying them in the first place. So if you don't want to give Zuckerberg more money, I hear you. You don't have to do Facebook ads. But do you have another tool that's as powerful that's going to give you the same results that you know how to use and make the most of? Hey, it's Josh here. Are you finally ready for advertising that works every single time? If so, then download the 3 T's of great advertising right now. We're going to give you our simple 3-step system that quite literally works every time for ads that do the job time and again. And as well, we're also going to give you the 7 marketing must-haves. These are the main principles so you can get the absolute most out of your investment in any type of Facebook and Instagram ads and beyond. don't hesitate. Let's get started today and make this super simple. It's certainly not rocket science, and there's no smoke and mirrors. Download it today at www.goldenringmarketing.com/get started. One more time, that's www.goldenringmarketing.com/get started. And we'll see ya on the other side. To me, this is one of, if not the primary thing to get the most strategy, skill, and return with, where you get to be the control freak in a good way and control all your traffic and results, where you get to use advertising if you want to figure out everything that's not working yet in your business. And you're not relying on affiliates and referrals, which are great. Don't stop using them, but you got to control all of your own stuff without waiting for those people with tools and skills like this. And to go back to Chrissy, right? It's a skill. You're spending money on it. So if you're throwing spaghetti against a wall and you're just expecting something to work that costs you money, right? You're missing the skill. To me, this is just like driving a car, guys. It's just like driving a car. It's not riding a bike. Other people, so I'm not vilifying anybody, but I'm going to tell you what I see, which is people have programs and they want to sell you their programs. And then to make their program work, they throw stuff in at the end of the day and they're like, so just run some ads and blah, blah, blah. And people are like, just run some ads? That came out of left field. What do you mean just run some ads? How? Right? And then people go bust just running some ads just to make the other thing work. But you got to make the thing you're investing money in, you got to know how it works. So Adam, at the end of the day, I don't want you vilifying anybody, including yourself, including the community that may be anti-Zuckerberg, whatever it is. I don't mind. But you could be anti-Bezos and not use Amazon. You could be anti-whoever it is who has LinkedIn. It doesn't matter. It's all the same. Do they change the rules of the game? The rules of the game don't really change when it comes to ads. I basically not long ago did a complete redo of my entire course and very little changed. Cosmetically, things look different and maybe things clicked a little different here or there, but the fundamentals didn't change. Did the prices of things go up and down? They do that for everything. I paid $5 something for gas yesterday. I paid $3 something many months ago before. It's always changing. So we can't forget that this stuff is longer term and things ride a roller coaster of incremental, consistent change. But don't vilify it. But most of all, think back to the Williams sisters. You stay focused on you. You stay focused on your game. Adam, you stay focused on your business and your growth and you using the tools that you want to. Don't use the tools that you don't feel are valuable. But if you're getting something and know how to make it work and work it, and you stay focused on you. And other people with the business will always profit. Don't worry about that. That's not, right? And I say this with love, that's not your business. That's their business. You don't have to use it. I'm not advocating you use it if you have some other option. But I do want you to control and stay focused on you growing you and your people. So this is a great question, and I stand by everything I said because it's my experience, not my opinion. It's not out of the blue. Aren't there better ways to skip giving them so much profit? It's not your business. Other people's profit, there. You wanna counteract this? Buy Facebook stock. When Facebook starts charging a little more for ads for one period of time, because it always changes, right? You gain the benefits of that. Buy some Facebook stock. And if you can't afford to buy Facebook stock, that is a beautiful reminder and a little trigger to say, I want you to focus on growing your business so that you make enough profit that you can then buy Facebook stock. If you're like, I want stock in all the tools that I use so I can start to get back what I invest on the front end, awesome. How clever is that? Buy stock for Facebook and LinkedIn and Salesforce, and maybe you're going to buy stock for stuff you don't even use. You're like, I use a different tool, but Salesforce is everywhere. I'll buy it. Right. You get to counterbalance that. Let's not lose the focus. Awesome. Great question. All right, final question is from Dave. Let me see how we're doing on time here. Oh, there we're getting there. Okay, Dave asks, this is a good one. I don't want to become a marketer. I started my business to do what I love. I'm a great coach, and that's how I want to spend my time. Not all this marketing. Isn't there a shortcut for this with ads? So, as per my routine at the moment, I'm going to read it again because it's a doozy and a good one. Dave says, and thank you for your question, Dave. This is a great question. I don't want to become a marketer. I started my business to do what I love. I'm a great coach, and that's how I want to spend my time. Not all this marketing. Isn't there a shortcut for this with ads? Beautiful question. Deep question. To the point question. And Dave, I want to give you a deep to the point answer because that's what you deserve. And here's the reality. Here's what I see. I've worked with all types of industries, all types of businesses, huge 7-figure businesses, tiny little startups, people who did great, people who gave their business up, and all of their audiences and their people. And most people are more alike than not. And most audiences use the same mental triggers and psychological triggers. But Dave, here's the answer for you. You don't need to, quote unquote, ever become a marketer. And I don't ever want you to feel like you are doing a disservice to what your business is, coaching, whatever type of coach you are. Maybe you're a business coach, a health coach, a personal coach, like it doesn't matter. Whatever type of, and by the way, guys, if you send me questions, give me just enough details because I've been doing this long enough, I can maybe customize some things more to you and what my experience is and what I know about you. So I would love to know what type of coach you are, Dave. Let me know. But you don't ever have to become a marketer. And I see a lot of content and businesses that speak to people who have their own small business that is now then really, you're not really a coach. You're not really this. You're really a marketer. Just raking in the cash, providing zero value. That's not you. And I have to say, the people I love to work with, and most of the people, all the people I work with, they're not just there to rake in the money. Taking the money, value beside the point. I'm a great marketer, so I'm taking the money in, right? I don't even work with those people. But here's the big distinction, Dave. And I think I started saying that with Chrissy, or maybe I said something else I put together earlier today. Distinctions matter. Is it more this or more that? Here's the distinction. Marketing is never just marketing. If you're using it for purposes of ill or malice and you don't care what you're giving people, you're just great at it and you're taking the money and you're running and nobody has accountability, right? That's a different story. That's malicious. And that's not what we're talking about. What I'm really talking about, though, is specifically your mission. And it will always come back to your mission. You have a mission. You, specifically Dave, and maybe anybody else watching this, you are a great coach. What is the mission of your coaching business? What is the purpose of your coaching business? Whatever you just thought to yourself, Dave, or whatever you know now is your mission, and you're like, that's my mission, and that's why I wake up and do what I do every day, and that's why I get on calls, and that's why I work with people. That's your mission. And to get someone to have that call with you, they are somewhere, somehow, entering a customer journey and going through a bunch of steps to become the person you get to coach. So this is your coachee or your coaching client, your customer. They bought the coaching package from you or they bought the session from you, right? That is your coaching client. But what if, Dave, what if you approached it as part of your mission and part of your coaching is not just to get on the phone and have the call and coach the person, but part of that is to bring more of the best people you want to work with onto your customer journey. And even though they're going to end up here as a coaching client and you're going to deliver them coaching because they purchased a package, what if when they enter your customer journey, you connect every dot just for your ideal client? And you disqualify the people who can't afford it, the people who aren't going to meld with you, the people you're not going to meld with, and they are not your ideal client, and you are not their ideal coach. You're going to get them off that customer journey along the way. But you are going to customize every single step along this customer journey. You are going to connect, they're going to enter a customer journey, and you, Dave, as part of your coaching first steps, are going to connect all the dots for them until they actually say, I can't wait to start working with you, Dave. Send me whatever I need, charge my credit card, do this now. All of this is not marketing. It's the first steps of your coaching. It's you planting the seeds for whatever you will give them when you start working with them. And I don't know if you can tell, but I'm going to take a moment and time out for myself. I need a drink of water, right? Because I am passionate about this, because this is your reality. If you choose to step away from the should, gotta do this, gotta do that, should, I lose, unless I win, unless somebody else is lose, right? All of that, sweep it aside. The reality is, most businesses are so disconnected from their mission. When they work on their marketing, it's like a totally different thing. And yes, is it a slightly different skill set than you being a great listener, than you asking probing questions, than you showing people the distinctions and the next steps for themselves? Is it different? Doesn't have to be, Dave. Honestly, you get to spin that out and spell that out. Oh, I watched this cool show I'm thinking about called something of witches. It had a weird name. A coven of witches, a chemistry of witches. Anyway, the main witch was creating strings and creating spells, and that's what I see. Because that's the reality for people who engage with this. You're never going to be a marketer for the sake of marketing. You're going to learn some proven specific marketing skills that are the natural extension of your coaching, so that you can connect the dots and get more of the right people to enter the customer journey and dissuade the wrong people to not enter the customer journey. And you give them exactly what they want, and you give them what you know they need until they become the customer. And every step of that incorporates marketing things that work, that are proven, but are just elements of your coaching. I want to put this one different way for anybody who might take it this way. And I say this all the time with my clients, which is the offer that you're making over here at the final step of the customer journey, right? This final offer, are you planting the seeds of it from the very first step of them entering the customer journey? Or does it become like a bait and switch at some point, right? It's like, well, ultimately, I want you to take this specific offer, and I'm going to introduce that over here, but you're going to come in on something totally different. And I'm going to try to make us transition between what you really want and then what I'm going to give you. And you're going to get a little confused, right? That's not connecting the dots for people. So as a bit of a shortcut and a bit of a cut to the chase for a lot of people, I want to say, whatever you may have multiple offers and bring different types of clients or customers in your business, or customers for different offers. Whatever that offer is, you plant that seed clearly, firmly, and beautifully from day one. And as you connect the dots through this, you could just think of it as, I water that little seed so it becomes a little plant, then it becomes a bigger plant, then it becomes a bush, then it becomes a tree, and then it becomes something that fruits. Right? If you like that gardening metaphor, I worked for shout out White Flower Farm in Litchfield, Connecticut. I worked for White Flower Farm back in the day. I was even a salesperson from one summer selling bumper crops and other gorgeous things. I know a thing or two about gardening, and I planted gardens of my own in my family's backyard because we had some space and there were no gardens, and it was nice. I know the gardening thing too. Your business is that. You will never be a marketer, Dave, and you never have to be. There's the good news. The beautiful news is that if your mission is clear and strong, you get to be the great coach incorporating some marketing skills, which everybody needs skills like this, just like you need advertising skills, right? You have to find out how to use the money best just to get them into the best, strongest point in the customer journey and connect the dots for them. So Dave saying he doesn't want to become a marketer, right? Isn't there a shortcut for this with ads? I want to tell you what I tell everybody, which is great advertising is always the last step of great marketing. That's all you need to know. And great marketing is extending whatever you do great as a coach, Dave, with some more skills, marketing skills there. You don't need to become the marketer. You have to be someone excited and willing to connect with your people through what we do call marketing, because on the other side of that is the sale, and you deliver. but you're just delivering the same stuff. It's just in a slightly different format. We don't need to get it confused from that. So take the pressure off. Remove that doesn't feel right or good to you, because it's not true anyway. Your mission matters most. Your audience matters most. And then you get more of what you want here with the purchase. All right. Thank you to Chrissy, Adam, and Dave for your questions. Great questions. Great challenging questions. And you listening to this here today in Marketing Therapist, maybe this has raised some issues for you, marketing therapist style. And maybe it's raised more questions for you. If you have more questions, or you have more issues or more challenges, send them my way. I want to answer them here. And I will see you inside the next Marketing Therapist very soon, where we're going to answer some different types of questions. Don't forget, Marketing Therapist is a journey and piece of Journey with Josh, where we explore this beautiful marketing journey of coaches and course creators and experts and leaders to help you share your knowledge with the people out there in the world who deserve it. We want to give you the skills, the confidence, and the deep clarity to get out there. Visit us on our YouTube channel. Visit us on Spotify at Journey with Josh Podcast, or wherever you catch your podcasts. Come to goldenringmarketing.com. Get the 3 T's of advertising, and you're going to have some strategy. And we can't wait to help bring you to your next step. Thanks for joining me today here inside a Marketing Therapist. I'll see you next time.